Tennessee's Wild Side is a presentation of the Jackson Foundation.
I always have a preconceived notion of what I'm going to fish, and Debbie, my wife, when we go out, we start with two different things, and we do that so that we can kind of cover. We're using what we call search baits, crankbaits, spinnerbaits, baits that you cast out and crank back in, because we're trying to find fish. Once we find those schools of fish, we slow down and start throwing slower baits like plastic worms, jigs, some things that you're kind of working with the rod, the other you're working with the reel. I already know, when I go out, I kind of laugh at, people say, well, I've got 108 fish catching colors of crankbaits. I already know there's 3 colors I'm gonna bring every time I go. Shad pattern, crawfish pattern, chartreuse blackback. If they don't bite those 3, they're not biting a crankbait that day. So it's pretty simple. If there's a shad spawn, you see literally thousands of 1.5 or 2 inch shad. And then people will say, well, the trout fishermen say match the hatch. And I say, I'm throwing the flag on that one. You don't wanna match the hatch. You wanna go bigger in size and same in color. If you're competing with 10,000 shad and you're throwing a spinnerbait that's got a blade the same size as that, they're never gonna see it. So you upsize the blade, kind of like a fast food. Let's upsize the bait. The simplicity of what we do, it's almost like the electronics that you can look at, trail cameras for hunters or facing forward sonar for fishermen. People say, what of that have you got? And I said, I don't have any of that. I just go out and fish. I just look at things and kind of, I'm processing as I go and saying, there's a steep bank, 45-degree angle, there's a big tree on that. I'm gonna throw a crankbait past that tree and see if I catch a fish, only because I've done it, 100 times before. And if you have a 1-acre pond and you go to fish a 1,600-acre lake, it's 1,600 1-acre ponds. So don't get too caught up in the, well, I don't know where to go. Just go where you normally go and do what you normally do. I've caught fish in Canada, Hawaii, Mexico, everywhere in between. And you can go 8 feet of water is 8 feet of water. So you can go any place and catch fish doing exactly the same things that we're doing. Debbie caught an 8-pound bass last year. It's the biggest bass she ever caught. She caught a 6-pound smallmouth 2 years before that. There's a lot of grown men that have fished for 30, 40 years, have never done that. So my chest swells with pride when I know that it's not like I'm guiding her to those fish, but I can kind of say, this is what we're doing, show you how to use a circle hook, let's change your line, let me show you this knot kind of a thing. So again, it kind of lives on in somebody else. I got one more book coming out. It's called Strictly Big Bass, that I don't want, when I'm no longer here, for all that knowledge that I've gained over the course of the years to go away. But it's really not as complicated as people think it is or people try to make it. The one thing that I tell people continuously, and I don't care when I was doing karate or whether I was fishing or when I was doing TV or whatever.
Inevitably, if you love to fish, at some point in time you have to fish in cold weather and cold water.
Nobody is bigger than the sport. We all just kind of have our place where we fit in there. That's really all I wanted to do, was just kind of fit in. And I'm proud to have that heritage and that legacy that says, I always tell people I'm the guy next door. Nothing flashy, I'm fishing out of a kayak. I'm not doing anything that somebody else couldn't do.